Sarah suddenly noticed something strange. The seawater had been crystal clear just moments ago, but a swarm of jellyfish had appeared out of nowhere. They began attacking her from every direction. The excruciating pain sent Sarah into a panic, and she struggled desperately to break free. But instead of driving the jellyfish away, her movements only attracted more of them. Before long, they had covered her entire body and dragged her beneath the surface. Sarah vanished from sight. Her friends quickly realized she was missing. Fortunately, they managed to rescue her in time. She had only been badly stung by the jellyfish. Even after that, however, none of them realized how much danger they were in. They decided to continue the trip, and their destination was a few tourists had visited the place over the years. But Matt, their guide, was eager to make money, so he agreed to take the risk. Sarah was the only one in the group who felt uneasy about the expedition because of her injuries. Everyone else was thrilled. None of them had any idea what horrors awaited them inside the underwater cave. When it came time to choose a route, the guide recommended the easier green course, but Max insisted on trying the much more difficult red course. Sarah objected, but she was outvoted, and since the harder route meant more money, Matt agreed. And so, a group of complete beginners, led by a guide who cared more about money than safety, set off on a journey from which they might never return. Sarah was the only cautious one. Before setting out, she packed plenty of emergency supplies. She even put on a full wetsuit. The cave system had formed naturally over hundreds of years. The water was not especially deep, but the only way to explore it was by swimming and diving. Their first stop was only a massive colony of bats. With that many bats overhead, it was hard to imagine how much bat droppings had ended up in the water below. Nothing happened at the first stop. The group relaxed, took in the scenery, and continued toward the second area. Along the way, Matt warned them to be especially careful. The bottom of the cave was covered with human bones. The rock formations were extremely fragile, and falling rocks had killed people there before. Matt sounded completely serious, but no one took his warning to heart. Instead, they stopped to take pictures. They had no idea that danger was already closing in. Whenever the group moved forward, Sarah instinctively stayed at the very back. That way, she could keep an eye on everyone. More importantly, if anything went wrong, she would have a clear path to retreat. When they reached the third area, they found the surface littered with the remains of dead fish. There was an opening in the roof of the cave that connected directly to the ocean. At high tide, waves carried large numbers of fish into the cave. Unable to find their way out, many of them died there. The dead fish themselves were not the real danger. The real danger was the predator that followed them in. A bull shark. Unlike most sharks, bull sharks can survive in both saltwater and freshwater. But the group had no idea that a starving bull shark was already lurking in the water ahead. Then, at the worst possible moment, Adeline injured her lower leg. Blood began pouring from the wound. Sharks rely heavily on their sense of smell when hunting. The moment the bull shark detected the blood, it moved beneath the group. Then it attacked one of the divers. The fourth area was known as the Blue Ocean. No artificial lights were needed there. The cave was filled with a breathtaking blue glow, but hidden inside that beautiful water was the terrifying bull shark. While diving below the surface, Sarah noticed a dark cloud drifting through the water. When she moved closer, she realized it was human blood. That was when the group understood that the diver had been killed. Matt found a tooth embedded in the diver's mask and immediately confirmed that there was a shark nearby. The moment everyone heard the news, panic erupted. They scrambled out of the water and climbed onto the rocks. Matt insisted that the trip had to end immediately. They needed to return to base as quickly as possible, but Max questioned him. How could there possibly be a shark in fresh water? He accused Matt of taking their money and then inventing an excuse to cancel the trip. As far as Max was concerned, they should keep going. But while the group was still arguing, Matt had already slipped away. He left the others standing there, completely stunned.